what I didn't like, and this was the most frustrating thing I saw this past week. Of course, Monday, Alabama lost to Clemson in the national championship game. And just the next day, Skip Bayless, which I don't like to watch these debate shows, First Take, Undisputed, whatever, because all it is just saying something very outrageous so you could get viewership, and one person states one extreme and the other person goes on the other extreme just to build conflict, because that gets views and that gets shared and that equals money. The most frustrating thing to see was when Skip Bayless, and I don't know why it affected me so much, but I just thought it was so stupid. He wanted to promote his new show on Fox, and he tweeted, Nick Saban is overrated. And then he tagged the show and what time you can watch it or listen to it. And it bothered me because of the fact of how stupid and ridiculous that statement is. And I didn't watch what he had to say or listen to what he had to say, because at that point, you're not, I don't know. You're just doing it for the money. You're just doing it for the views. And I don't know, to get this reaction, I guess. But it wasn't just Skip Bayless. There are other people with their little blogs and whatnot to report that Alabama was overrated. We overrated them. How was Alabama overrated? And again, this is not coming from an Alabama fan. I'm not an Alabama fan. It's just ridiculous to see this type of stuff when it's not needed. You really, to go on that extreme and to say the Crimson Tide is overrated, or that or Nick Saban is overrated. He shouldn't even talk sports. You shouldn't be allowed to talk sports to be saying stuff like that. You know, I had someone tell me, well, they're just talking about Alabama's defense. It was overrated. You know, in the last few games, they got exploited. Well, I think we all knew, one, Alabama's defense is dominant. There's no doubt about it. For the past several years, Alabama has had a dominant defense thanks to part of their coaching and recruiting top talent and then producing NFL talent. These guys were dominant. Now, I think media analysts and fans of college football, people who've actually watched Alabama play, I think we all saw that the secondary was really their weakest point. But it was so hard to really see it sometimes because of that defensive line being their strength, their bread and butter. When the quarterback's got about 2 seconds to throw the ball, it can make any secondary look good. So I understand if, you know, a little bit of that. But they were still dominant. And I don't think they were overrated. I didn't think anybody overrated them. They still have one of the best defenses in college football, and one of the best. But for a coach to build what Saban has built, or rebuilt, Alabama's had tradition, to continue to reproduce NFL talent each and every year, I think it's crazy to think that Alabama was or is overrated. That's just dumb to think that. They're not. They weren't. And I understand the frustration, you know, when you see them in the top 3 and the top 5 each and every year. But that's just a credit to what they've done and what they've built. And they will continue to stay there until Saban decides to ride off into the sunset. So to call Alabama overrated, to call Nick Saban overrated, just stop watching sports. Just stop talking college football all over. Because that's just a dumb statement to make. And actually talk about something more specific, realistic. I don't know. My rant of the day.